Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to fully disassemble, clean and then reassemble a Dyson V6, DC58, DC59 or DC62 vacuum cleaner. If you have poor suction or pulsing, or if your vacuum cleaner shuts off after a short time and you've already tried changing the filter, then it may just need cleaning. First we need to remove the filter and remove any attachments from the vacuum. Now push down on the red lever to open the bin door and give it a tap to shake out any loose dust. Then push the lever all the way down to release the bin and remove it by rotating it away from the motor. Now remove one Phillips head screw from the back of the motor cover. And remove another Phillips head screw from the front of the battery behind the cyclone. With that screw gone, we can slide the battery out and put it to one side. Now if we look between the cyclone assembly and the motor, we can see two white plastic levers, one on each side. Both of these need to be pushed in towards the middle at the same time to separate the cyclone from the motor. Wedge a plastic spudger between the lever on the right and the outside of the case to keep it pushed in, and then take some tweezers or another spudger to push in the left lever. The two parts should then separate. Now we can see the levers more clearly. When they're pushed towards the middle, the cyclone is free to move. When they're released, they hold the cyclone in place. Now use a thin flat tool like this jimmy from iFixit to release the clips holding on the shroud. Work your way around the edge releasing the clips and you should hear a click as they're undone. Then insert a spudger under this plastic tab at the front to release the final clip and you should be able to lift off the shroud. Next, there are 5 Torx T8 screws evenly spaced around the edge inside these holes. I used tweezers to remove these after loosening them since they didn't seem to be sticking to my magnetic screwdriver very well. With the screws gone, this part can be lifted off, revealing a funnel-shaped piece inside. This funnel piece can be lifted off as well. Now, if you look between these plastic posts, you'll see 4 more Torx T8 screws inside. You need quite a thin screwdriver to reach these as they're quite deep. With those removed, there are 2 more Torx T8 screws here at the neck, one on either side. Now the top of the cyclone can be lifted off and the middle part can be separated from the lower part. Then this middle tube can be slid out from its hollow. This foam gasket can be lifted off. And then the 2 remaining plastic parts can be separated. You'll find another smaller gasket underneath which can be removed as well. With the cyclone fully disassembled, now it's time to take apart the motor assembly. There are 3 plastic clips holding on the rear cover, one here at the bottom and one here on either side at the top. To release the bottom clip, hold the motor body on your left hand and the rear cover in your right hand and pull them away from each other. To release the clips on the sides, use a small plastic guitar pick like this one from iFixit. Insert it into the gap between the motor body and the rear cover and then slide it forwards. Then turn it around and do the same on the other side. With the clips released, the back cover can be lifted off. Inside the back cover you'll find 2 filters, a dense foam pad in the middle and a longer piece around the outside. These can be lifted out with some tweezers or your fingers. To clean them you can just rinse them under a cold tap until the water runs clear and then leave them to dry. And that's it, we're done with the disassembly. Now it's time to clean everything thoroughly before we put it all back together again. The plastic parts can just be scrubbed in warm water with some dish detergent, rinsed and then either left to dry or you can dry them yourself with a towel. Use a brush to try and get into all of the crevices and gaps to remove as much of the dirt and dust as you can. For the two gaskets, it's best not to get these wet, so either clean them with a brush or use another vacuum cleaner. For the back motor cover, I start by using a brush to remove the loose dust and then switch to a damp paper towel. For the PCB, I start by brushing it with a nylon anti-static brush to get rid of the loose surface dust, and then switch over to using a Q-tip dampened in 99% isopropyl alcohol for a more thorough clean. I also use Q-tips with alcohol for cleaning the two battery contacts on the other side. Above the battery contacts you'll see the fan. This too can be cleaned with a Q-tip dampened in alcohol by carefully inserting it into the gaps between the fan cover to wipe the dust from the surface of the blades and the surrounding area. For cleaning the dustbin, I start off with a damp paper towel to clean off the surface dust. For these paint marks and scuffs, I use a magic eraser, also known as a melamine sponge, dampened in water. Next, I polish the dustbin using a drill and a polishing wheel. This is optional, but I like to do it since it helps to remove the cloudiness and gets the bin back to looking clear again. Then to end with, I switch to hand polishing with a microfiber cloth and some polishing paste. This should leave you with a bin that looks just like new again. Now with everything clean, it's time to put it all back together again. Start by replacing the filter foam inside the back motor cover. Replace the outer foam first, making sure that it's behind the plastic tabs around the edge, and then replace the inner foam. Then you can replace the back cover on the motor by putting it into place and pressing down until you hear the clips reattach. To reattach the bottom clip, just pull the two parts away from each other again while pressing on it gently with your thumb until the clip drops back into place. Now we can start to reassemble the cyclone assembly, starting with the two gaskets. Replace the smaller gasket first, pressing it down into place over the plastic posts. And then replace the larger gasket, again pressing it down into place around the plastic posts. Then you can replace the piece with the 5 prongs in the middle. Next, replace this inner piece into the lower cyclone, lining up the grooves on the neck with the tabs on the hollow, and push it firmly down into place. Make sure that the little rubber tab sits on the outside. Then you can drop the middle piece back into the lower cyclone and replace the upper cyclone. Now replace the 4 Torx T8 screws. Then replace the 2 Torx T8 screws on either side of the neck. Now push the central funnel piece back into place over the plastic posts on the lower cyclone, making sure to push it down firmly. Then you can replace the plastic cover over the top and replace the 5 Torx T8 screws around the outside. Now if you look at the inside of the shroud, you'll see plastic clips evenly spaced around the edge. And on the inside of the lower cyclone, you'll see these small plastic tabs that they clip onto. Lining up the two parts, push them together and then push down around the outside with your fingers to reattach each of the clips. You'll hear a click as they reattach. Next we can reattach the cyclone assembly to the motor. With the motor on its back, use some tweezers to hold the 2 plastic levers together in the middle and drop the cyclone into place. Then release the levers to secure it. Now we can reinsert the battery, replace the Phillips head screw on the back of the motor, and the Phillips head screw on the front of the battery. Now we can replace the bin, rotating it into position until you hear it click. Finally, all that's left to do is to reattach your attachments and install a filter. And that's it, the vacuum cleaner's fully restored and it's back to working like new again. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. That's it for now, thanks for watching.